Right, good afternoon from London, and good afternoon from a Britain that is no longer a member of the European Union. And good afternoon from me, Dr. Dermot Hudson, Chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Juche idea, Chairman of the UK Korean Friendship Association, and official delegate of the Korean Friendship Association for the UK, and President of the Association for the Study of Songun Politics. Now I'm going to talk today about on the subject of Juche and Brexit, which will be a controversial subject, but one I think that a lot of people will find interesting. And before I start, I'm going to make clear that the UK Korean Friendship Association doesn't actually have any view on Brexit. Some of our members supported leave, some supported remain, some were neutral. But the reality is that Brexit has now happened. From the point of view of UK KFA, I would say it's an opportunity for Britain to develop closer relations now with the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The European Union, in fact, imposed very draconian sanctions upon the DPRK. Now that Britain has left the European Union, there is no need to abide by them. These sanctions can be put into the dustbin of history, and Britain can negotiate trading deals with the DPRK and closer economic cooperation, which would be beneficial for the interests of both countries. This is a fact. Now, as Juche idea followers, how do we approach the question of Brexit? And Juche is based totally on independence. Therefore, people in each country need to fight for the independence of their country. So, in that sense, I personally support leaving the EU, and I actually voted to leave the EU on that basis. However, I'm not naive. The Brexit being implemented by the reactionary Conservative government is not a people's Brexit. It's a reactionary one. And, though Britain has finally become independent of the European Union, it is still shackled to US imperialism. Britain is still a member of NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and a war alliance of US imperialism. And we've still got American bases and weapons and American troops on our soil. And incidentally, I just also would like to mention the case of Harry Dunn, a young British citizen who was killed by a wife of a US military personnel in Britain, and she escaped to the US and has avoided a trial here. And that sort of, I think, shows the so-called special relationship between Britain and the US. So, I think we can make the case and say, well, now Britain has left the EU, how about leaving NATO? How about kicking American troops and bases out of Britain and becoming truly independent? And we also need economic independence. We need to quit the International Monetary Fund, the World Trade Organization, and the World Bank. I think we can actually learn from the DPRK's example of self-reliance. If Britain became a socialist country, we should pursue building an independent, self-reliant national economy and aim to produce as much as what we can at home rather than importing it. It's a simple strategy, and the DPRK itself has survived, and not just survived but prospered under 70 years of US sanctions and blockade through self-reliance. And at present, the so-called debate over Brexit is striking free trade deals with this or that country, not pursuing a line of economic independence and self-reliance. So, I think we should try and make that point in the debate on the course for Britain after Brexit. So, let's fight for an independent, self-reliant People's Britain, and let's fight to implement the Juche idea in Britain. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to our channel and come to our events. Thank you.